Hi guys, and welcome to #SoccerKalitzStyle. As you know, the show that brings you all the latest in football, whether it's local, international, or in the Premier League. Today, we have a quick discussion about the Arsenal versus Chelsea game. Yeah, as we know, there's nothing riding on the game for Arsenal in terms of points or in terms of places in the league, but it's a London derby, so for bragging rights, it is always good to win. And then we quickly just going to discuss City being crowned champions last night after United slumped against Liverpool. Joined with me, it's Mr. Rodi Henry today. It is also Mr. Rodi Wenger. It's also Mr. Roderick Fransman. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, sir. Can't complain. The sky is blue outside, so that's one sign. It's a city day today, a day of
Yeah,
celebration for the citizens.
it's a wonderful day for City's people, man. Listen, they just went and won this thing under the radar without even pulling a sweat, man. City just came in the. It was probably 2 or 3 months that they just became consistent and started winning everything. Started scoring goals. Started hitting their form. Ruben Diaz and Stones hitting up a partnership, and after that, the rest is history. What do you make of their campaign? What do you make of their campaign this season?
Well, cities that I force, it's all based on consistency, as they've been showing the whole season. Going to places where it's difficult, and they went on to win most of the games away and at home. So they've been on a good run. And that's the reason why they are champions today, because they built up so many points and they picked up so many points, and that is what champions do. If you want to be a league title champion, you need to see out games, you need to take points, you need to make sure you get 3 points instead of one or lose. So yeah, big up to Manchester City for winning their, I think it's their sixth title now, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
And with a margin of 10 points, yeah, that's good results for them. And so they still have a couple of games in hand, but as we all know, they already won the title last night when Man United lost against Leicester City. So yeah, great performance throughout the season. And yet again, there's still another competition where they have to play, and hopefully may the best team win. That's the Champions League.
yeah, man. Listen, according to you, what would you say is the reason for City's consistency during this time period? Because it's been a decade now. Remember the decade between from 2000, say from 2000 to
2010.
2010. Yeah,
Yes.
Chelsea was the most decorated club in England in terms of positions and in terms of titles. But this year, or this decade from 2010 up to 2020, City took it loose hands. Yeah, like you said, probably 6 titles within that time. What would you say is the reason for their consistency, except for money, except for apparently players? Because we all have players and we all have money. Um,
Yes.
could it be the coach? Could it be what the coach is getting from them? Could it be the training regimes? What do you think is the reason for especially Pep's consistency with his teams?
I think from the start of 2010, you could see in the Man City squad, there's been good leaders like all over the team, all over the squad. So it starts with good leadership, like the likes of Vincent Company, those guys, Yaya Toure, those guys. So it was all based on, in every position there's a leader and a guy that can change the game. And especially when Pep came, he changed the whole squad. Even the likes of legendary strikers like Kun Aguero had to sit on the bench. So that already shows you that Pep is out to seek for players who've got great talent, like the likes of Phil Foden, them, um, Riyad Mahrez, who never really had the opportunity to play in the squad when he came abroad to City. So yeah, it's all based on tactics and also how you use your players. Which for me, I think the other night when they play PSG, to play with a whole lot of midfielders, that already shows you the quality of the team. So for the past couple of years, Pep has been building this squad where you can see just them winning titles after titles, and that is the key to success. You need to develop players, bring them up to the game, young players especially. So if you're not good enough, then you have to sit on the bench, and whoever takes the opportunity is gonna go out there and give it his best. So that is what has been working since Pep took over. Even before that, the likes of Mancini and those guys, when they were the coaches, you could see in every position there was a player, or definitely there was a reserve for that position as well. So City could easily go with the second squad as well, and try and play in this league as well. That is how good the City squad is. Even if they bought players of Josh Stones and those guys who are worth 70, 80 million, but end of the day, if you have good players in good positions, that means you're gonna have a great squad and a solid squad that can win you titles. That is my take
Most,
on the consistency.
most definitely. Valid point that you're making there. Really valid point that you're making there. And Pep also has the ability to make or break a player, as we have seen in his history. He does know how to make a play. He does know how to break a player. But we're not going to go into that side of his game because Pep, you know how Pep is. Even if he's wrong, he's still right. So
Yes,
what I wanted to say on the fact of Pep, when he came to Manchester City and he took the contract of Manchester City, he said he wanted to be like Sir Alex and like Wenger. He also wants to be there for the next 20 years and
yes.
build a force to be reckoned with. Do you think, do you really think that will still be the case if Pep should win the Champions League this season? Don't you think he would look for greener pastures? Because Pep is a winner. Pep is always looking for challenges. And if there's no
Yes.
challenges for him and he's done what he has needs to do at his team, he usually moves on. Do you
Yes.
think if he wins, he's still gonna stay on?
Yeah, definitely. Look, I think Pep Guardiola's extended his contract in the beginning of the year, so that's already a big sign that this guy wants to build a dynasty with Man City. They want to become like Man United, who's winning titles after titles. So that's the plan which they have in place. That's the reason why they also signed Pep Guardiola, because he's a winner. He's got a winner mentality, and he wants most of his teams where he coaches. He wants them to win every single competition. So that is the goal for Man City currently now. But what I can say is in the English Premier League, you can be one year a champion, the next year you can fall very hard. So because teams, they acknowledge your tactics, they for example, I'll just make a quick example, like the likes of Liverpool, for example, this year, without the defense, you can see teams are coming at them. Teams have figured them out. So that could also be the case, but it all depends on your consistency and how good your players are if they really want it. And that's the thing of a footballer. Once you win something, you always want to continue winning it. So every single year you want. Once the league is over, you have to look forward for the next season, and that you want to win it again. So that's the type of mentality that he wants to implant, and give it to the players. They go out there and just try and win every single title that is out there, so that the club can also be one of those elite clubs. They are already the elite club in the English Premier League, winning leagues after leagues, and the Carabao Cup especially. So he's gunning out now to get the Champions League, and that's his main goal, I think, this season, to give them their first Champions League trophy. And yeah, he's doing a very good job at Man City, and I think it's a long-term plan for Man City. So yeah, let's see in the next couple of seasons if City can keep up with this good form.
And also, Pep likes to strengthen his squad. Even though we see there's no weaknesses in that squad that he currently has, Pep already has people in place or people that he wants to bring on board for his longevity and for his to keep his title or to retain his title. And that's what I think makes a champion. Once you win, you know you need to improve. Not like teams who win and they think now, like Liverpool, for example. They had
Yes,
this tactic playing Salamani and Firmino for 3 years every game without building another quadruple of attackers like they have. They could have built with Oxlade Chamberlain and Origi or Shaqiri, whatever. They could have been just as good as those guys. It all depends just on game time. With that being said, my last question to you quickly on the City thing. Do you think Pep can win Chelsea in the Champions League final, seeing Thomas Tuchel has already won him 2 times this season, back to back.
For me personally, I went through the game between Chelsea and Man City now when they played in the league. Both squads had like a second string couple of players. For me, it's all about the formation on the day, because if you look at the way Pep set up against PSG at like it was, I think, two 2-5-2 or 2-5-3. That's how they were setting up. They were having a lot of midfield players. That was to cut out the opposition. So they never had really a strike up front. So they wanted to bring that solid midfield into the game, and guys to pass the ball around, because they were aware of PSG's threat. So I think if he sets up that same formation, and it is a very difficult Chelsea side who is in great form under Tuchel. So if they on the day, if they play like they played against PSG, I'm sure they will take the UEFA Champions League. But I'm very skeptical about it, because I think the way Chelsea is also setting up their squad is to win games, and to use their players, especially the players like Kante, who's in great form at the moment. So it's going to be a good clash in the midfield, and that is where the game will be won or where the team will lose, because the midfielders are going to be the guys who you have to look out for. It's going to be a great battle, Kevin De Bruyne versus Kante, and as we all know, Kante has been brilliant this Champions League, playing in this playing in the Champions League so far. So yeah, it's a good game to look forward for, and yeah, like I said, may the best team win. Like everybody would say now, Chelsea's the underdogs, but I think with their current form, they are the team that can um, take the game towards City and try and see if they can score, or at least score 2 goals, because they have those type of players that can hurt City, but at the same time, City needs to be solid defensively if they want to win this game.
Okay, man. Listen, the one factor that I think that we should just take into consideration when it comes to finals is that Thomas Tuchel hasn't won a final yet. He's a great coach. He's a great improvement coach. He's almost like in for me. He's almost like in the same bracket as Pochettino. They are great at developing players. They are great at creating teams. They are great at putting a mentality there. But at the end of the day, as you know and as I know, to win a final is a very difficult thing. You have to have won finals before to take that experience into a final. Remember, Chelsea has been in finals. Chelsea has been in finals for quite some time, but I feel that he doesn't have enough experience to take Chelsea to the final because he had a far better squad at PSG, which he couldn't have done anything. So I'm only on that point. Only on that point, I think Pep has the hand over him because Pep knows how to play finals. Pep knows what's expected from him in finals. Let's see what type of character Chelsea's players can show in that final because a final is a different thing. If you play a final, it's back to the basics. There's no flamboyant stuff. There's no people doing stuff out of proportion. And finals are usually tightly contested games, not the nicest of watches. So this is really going to be an interesting watch. Yeah, thank you for that. Is there anything else you would like to add on City and Chelsea for the Champions League final?
Yeah, what I like observed with Pep Guardiola was the reason why he seen out that squad in the league. I think he wanted to figure out what is the house Chelsea is going to set up for the final, and that's the reason why he never played his first string players. So he wanted to see the type of football they play, and how can they counter against that type of style of Tuchel. So you're gonna definitely see a very strong City side playing against Chelsea. But like I said, end of the day, Chelsea is also a team that's currently in form. Tuchel has been winning games. It's like they're going on an unbeaten run at the moment. So the only way to stop City now is to outmaster the midfield and trying to get City on the counter and punish them. But End of the day, like you said, the coach is a winner. Pep Guardiola knows how to win Champions League trophies. Tuchel has been in a final. This is his second final now. We also had the likes of Thiago Silva at PSG, which he have now again. So yeah, may the best team win, but hopefully, yeah, like I said, I would favor Chelsea, even though I'm a Arsenal fan. I want one of the London sides to win because remember both Manchester clubs are in the final, so everybody in Manchester
It's
would
gonna
love
be
to
a
see both Manchester teams win both competitions. So I just think on the day if City comes to the front, then and if De Bruyne is on form, then there's no stopping City winning the Champions League for the first time. That
okay.
is my take
Cool, man. Thank you.
on the Champions.
Okay, thank you very much for that analysis and that breakdown and your thoughts on the final, the Champions League final. We have to do still a show on that one, private show. Then I quickly just want to go or come to the actual point or the actual show that we're having today. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Honestly speaking, man, as an Arsenal supporter, um, I'm not that confident going into this one. Seriously, I'm not that confident going into this one. But that I could say for the last time also when Frank Lampard and his men came to us flying high, they were flying high, scoring people, 6, 7 goals, flying past each other. Everyone said you're gonna get a big hiding, Chelsea's gonna knock your faces. And then we actually came to the par and put out one of our best performances of the season under Arteta, I think. David Luiz being integral in that performances, Aubameyang, all the people that has been off par this season has been up to par that day. Do you feel that this could be the same type of thing? Arsenal is also deflated, very much deflated. We're going into this game very, very much deflated. Chelsea flying high. All the Arsenal jokes that you can get.
Those competitions, I mean, the Soya swim and also to attract players from other clubs. Because currently, as you know, as an Arsenal fan, the state which the club is currently in, being 10th, 9th this season is not a good look for Arsenal. So, yeah, hoping the best for Arsenal this evening and may the best team win. But I'm gonna also predict that I think it's gonna be a draw or we might get to one. It's depending on what team you're going to out against Chelsea and if Chelsea play maybe youngsters or second string players. So yeah, let's see. May the best team win tonight.
Okay, man. Listen, I just wanted to know, is the sound still clear coming to your side? Because there's some slight delays when we're chatting. You still get me clearly?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, so I wonder where the hookup is coming from, but anyhow, I listened to a press conference from Arteta, the last one just before the Chelsea game, and he mentioned a lot of stuff, and he mentioned and he spoke like a man that's still gonna be here next season. So as you can see, or from what I can get, the board he's still backing him. The owners are still backing him
Yes,
because he spoke about there needs to be an overhaul in the team. Players
yes,
like Willock, players like Reece Nelson, players like Maitland Niles, all those people, Torreira, Guendouzi, all those people's futures are up in the air right now. And without us having any European football and that funds coming in, it's going to be very integral for us to sell or to move on some of those players because Arteta and Edu and whoever is there needs to make a conscious decision now as to are you going to bring Joe Willock back and just give him these games because there's no European football anymore? So it's only going to be League Cup, FA Cup, and the league. And you already saw that he wasn't even part of those plans. So if you are Teta, do you go now for those players? Because each one of those players, I can think each one of those players are worth at least £20 million.
yeah,
So if Arsenal has a very thick squad, one of the thickest squads in the Premier League, with players just earning their wages, I would think that Arteta should let at least 6 or 7 players go. And remember, this season already what work he did. He let go a lot of people. Mavropanos, not Mavropanos. What's this guy's name? Um, from Dortmund, I can't even remember anymore. Kolasinac, all those people went on. So he did
Mustafi,
already.
Saliba,
Yeah, and Saliba still on
Lucas
loan.
Torreira.
Saliba and
Yeah,
Mavropanos are still on loan. So they are still coming back. I'm sure they are in Arteta's plans. But Torreira, Guendouzi, Joe Willock, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Reece Nelson,
right.
and there's another player. I think about 6 players. I think
Maitland.
Arteta should let them come again.
Now Maitland Niles as well, who's on loan as well at West Brom. So there's a few players that I think he should let go. But I'm feeling that he should hold on a little bit longer with the youth. Because you can see how they play with other teams. They're making a big impact with the teams, especially Joe Willock, for example. Playing at Newcastle is winning games with Joe Willock. So I will hand over Joe Willock and maybe give him an opportunity in the league or in these competitions because he's got that quality. As you could see, he was playing against the big teams and he scored crucial goals. So yeah, I will say the old wood like Lucas Torreira, Guendouzi, Mafropanos, those guys, he should just let them all go. Let them all leave and get maybe Sanderberg and Basuma from Brighton. Get those type of players. There's also another player, Kavunga or something like that. He plays for his French team. I think it's Leo.
Yeah.
Or if I'm mistaken, these they also are to get as players. So yeah, if you can change like a whole lot of players and get new players in, that would be a great thing because this is now an opportunity for them to go full out for the league and trying to get in the top four or even try and be a title contender. That depends on how strong his squad is gonna be. So yeah, that is what I feel should happen going
Yeah,
into the
listen,
new
man.
season.
Yeah, listen, man. Just going into Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, Maitland Niles, all these guys that has been there for quite some time. We've been following them from since next gen. We've been following these guys since they were small boys, since 10 years old, 11 years old. They were coming through the ranks with Serge Gnabry and those sorts of boys. And also, Steve Rene Adelaide was also in that team. I don't know if you remember that next gen team from about 10, 12 years back, which won the cup.
Yes.
The problem I have with the last 10 years of Arsenal players and their development, none of them has reached their full potential. We can go back to Theo Walcott. He should have been one of the greatest strikers on earth. Jack Wilshere could have been one of the best midfielders in the world.
Yes.
To understand, our development has been
Yeah,
lacking
a
in
good
terms.
example. I think a good
Yeah,
example is like take Fabregas, for example. How Wenger brought him as a young player, and he became one of the finest midfielders in the world at that time. So, if Arteta can do the same with all these young players, I'm sure the other teams would look forward to get these type of players from Arsenal. And that's the problem. Like you said, we used to um, send our players on loan or just let bigger clubs come and buy our players, our young players, and then they perform abroad. So we should hold on to our young, youthful players because they 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 were brought up with the Arsenal academy. So like the likes of Bukayo Saka and Neil Smith Rowe, you can see these guys want to play for Arsenal. They want to play for a long time, and yeah, it's gonna be a big headache for Arteta going into the new season with all these players. There's one player I definitely would like to see based on his performance in the French league is William Saliba. So I would like to see his quality in the English Premier League. So that depends if Arteta is gonna favor him to play also now in the preseason, but we will see in due time.
yeah. And the last question on these players, these French players, um, do you now take the chance, if you are Teta, do you now take the chance and bring them all back and look to see, right, we know Guendouzi and Torreira hasn't been in the greatest of forms and I know they haven't been watched, but definitely Mavropanos has been one of the brightest stars in the German league and also
Yes.
Saliba, which we really need defense, we need the overhaul in the defense and I would also like to see us give David Luiz another year contract, just a year as backup because as much as you can say it, Roderick,
leadership.
or don't believe it, he has been one of our best defenders. He has been one of our most consistent defenders. Yeah, he does have his problems in him, but I'm very much more happier to see him back there than to see a guy like Chambers or Gabriel there. You understand? Because he's just a solid player. But the question I want to ask you: do you now take this chance and bring back Willock, Reece Nelson, Maitland-Niles, where you could have gotten good money for them this season? You bring them back, they start to give another season of these mediocre performances, and their value drops again, and then you can't get rid of them. So it's a catch-22 situation. But as you say, you really rate Willock. I really rate Willock. I think Willock has capabilities. I think he does
Highly.
have quality. I think he's a 6 out
I
of
think
10 player. I think he's a 6 out of 10 player, which can develop, but I don't think Arsenal and Arteta has the time to go and develop these guys right now. I think we need players to come and hit the ground running. Like, because imagine Basuma next to Partey in that
yes.
defensive midfield. It's my man. I can assure you it's going to be a totally different beast. So you would rather bring them back or capitalize on the money right now?
I would say, look, I've been watching the two players that's on loan currently with us, which is Martin Odegaard and Dennis Ceballos. If they go, there's still an opening for them because we don't actually have a lot of attacking midfielders in that position. Because the
Yeah.
only attacking midfielder is currently is Martin Odegaard and Dennis Ceballos, but you can see in the games they like to pass backwards and not going forward. Martin Odegaard at least is doing something. So we need the likes of Joe Willock, the guy that can push up the ball up high, that can make those passes that are always hungry to score. So I think we should definitely keep these players. Even the likes of Maitland Niles is a midfield player. He can also play the back. So Reece Nelson as well is a great winger. So I will hold on to these young players. Let all these guys who are on loan currently let them go back to their parenting club and give these youngsters opportunity because that's the only way you're gonna get the best out of these players. So I would say we should hold on to our youth and develop them as time progresses.
Yeah, listen, man, Dennis Ceballos is definitely out. I don't think we're going to give him another contract. He's definitely
Yes.
not in our plans this season. Martin Odegaard has hit the ground running in the beginning of the season. He had a few
Yes.
mediocre performances here and there. Out of 10 performances, he probably had two or three very good performances. The rest are just average, sideways passing, tika taka, trying to get into spaces, and all those sorts of stuff. And these last 2 months, I think, yeah, I know he had a slight little injury or whatever, or illness, but I think these last 2 months, he's really gone from that level really down. And as you see him now, um, would you still make a permanent move for him?
Yeah, definitely. Martin Odegaard's got the potential. We all know that. That's like our last interview when he started being on loan. He was called a wonder kid, so he's got that key to unlock the attacking type of football that Arsenal can play. But I mean, there's always competition in the squad. So Reece Nelson can do the same thing. Joe Willock can do the same thing. So it would be great to sign him, but also you need someone to play next to Thomas Partey because Thomas Partey is going to be the CDM, which is a defensive midfielder. So you need someone in front of him that can create. You need that number 10 that can make those passes like Mesut Ozil. So we just need that type of player. We lack that type of player in the midfield. So yeah, it hasn't been positive this season, especially with Dennis Ceballos making those mistakes, getting unnecessary red cards, yellow cards, making fouls. So we need that Arsenal type of style back. What we used to see with Czech Fabregas and the Flaminis, Cazolas, Ramses. So yeah, definitely in that position, and especially also our defensive, our right wing, we should Hector Bellerin should also go. I think we can. What I would prefer is to play Bakaya Saka there. I know he's a attacking player, but play him there as a left back because he used to start there playing in that position. Have Cedric or
Yeah,
Callum Chambers at the back, and have experiment with Pablo Mari holding and Gabriel and David Luiz. So you can always rotate them in different games. So I would definitely want to give these young players an opportunity. So it all depends on Arteta, like I said, and also this coming season, I hope that Arteta starts to trust Martinelli because there is
Yeah,
potential in that young boy. He's got that drive, he's got that motivation, he's got that fire inside of him. So if Arteta believes in him, I'm sure he will really unlock his potential and show the world what he can do because the past couple of games you could see this boy could really play and he can play very well up front with Emil Smith Rowe and Pepe and Aubameyang and Lacazette. So that is my um, expectations next season. That I just hope that Arteta plays this young boy up front.
yeah. Listen, man. Like we're chatting now, I'm quickly just thinking of the terrible, devastating combinations we can create with those boys. Imagine a
Yes,
combination on the right hand side of fullback, Bukayo Saka, and he's linking up with Pepe. On the left hand side, we have Kieran Tierney. He's linking up with Martinelli. That would
yes,
be uh, that would be
that will
devastating.
be
And
if
Basuma ruling stuff. You understand? Solidifying the midfield, and then you could just give the number 10 that free role that he deserves to be in a
yes.
creative space. But we're not going to go into contract chats now. Our time is a bit limited. I know you still have to go to sleep. Quickly, my man, before we cut off, your starting 11 tonight. Who would you like to see on the pitch for Arsenal?
Um, I'm gonna start by the goalkeeper. I would like to see Ryan there at the back again. I would rest Bert Leno. I think Bert Leno's been on and off for the past couple of weeks. We look more solid with Ryan. Um, he's been showing that he can also play out of the back. So and he looks very comfortable playing also at the back. The goalkeeper, on my right back, I would go. I would like Cedric to start. To be honest, if it's not Cedric, then I would give. Um, I would either start Cedric or Tierney on that side. On the other side, let's say on the left hand side, I will let Tierney start on the left hand side, and on the right hand side, Cedric. My pairing for the season has been Rob Holding and Pablo Mari. I believe these two guys they conceded less goals in the other pairing like Luis and Gabriel. So I would let those two players start because I think Rob Holding's also got this leadership. He's got that experience also now taking on these big games and performing very well. In the midfield, I would definitely go with Thomas Partey to hold the midfield there. And my formation is going to be a bit different. I will because I'm thinking the way Al Neni also played recently. I would let Al Neni and in place of Granit Xhaka, I would let Al Neni play with Thomas Partey because Al Neni is a workhorse. He works hard during the match and he makes up for those distances which he covered in the previous game. So he's a workhorse. I would let him and Thomas Partey play in the midfield. I would have maybe not Martin Odegaard, Emil Smith Rowe right in front of them maybe, and then have Aubameyang and Lacazette play up front. If they're not starting up front, I will give Pepe because Pepe has been in brilliant form. As you also saw how he scored now against West Brom, that brilliant goal. And
Wow,
obviously
wow.
Bukayo Saka on the wing and Pepe on the other wing and Aubameyang up front. If not, then obviously we can see the same formation which we played against West Brom. I would prefer Saka and Pepe up front with Aubameyang. Even though Aubameyang is not in the greatest form, I would start Lacazette because Lacazette is a big game player and he will definitely give you a goal or he will give you assist or he will give you um, that hard work up front. So yeah, that will be my formation. So I wouldn't play Martin Odegaard or any of them. I would be very defensively and have El Neni and Thomas Partey in the midfield.
Okay. Cool, man. Thank you very much for that, Roderick. Your final prediction, what would your score be?
Like I said early on, if we do play well, if it is not a very strong Chelsea side, then we could possibly win 2-1. But my heart says that we're gonna draw again at Stamford Bridge. That is all dependent on Chelsea squad. So if they put out a good squad, I could say we obviously, because we don't have a good record at Chelsea, so I would say that they're gonna win the game either 2-1 or we win 2-1. But a draw, I favor more draw that it's gonna be 1-1.
Okay.
That's my prediction.
Sorry, Roderick, man. You just broke up for that last part. Could you please repeat that last part
No,
again?
no, I said if Chelsea puts out a second or weaker side, we might win 2-1. But if they put out a good squad, good midfield out, the game might end up 1-1 as a draw.
Okay, cool. So that's your final predictions. Listen, sir, thank you
Yes,
very much for your brains, for your analysis, for your time. I know you still have to go and sleep. I'm really sorry I
yes.
took a bit much of your time. But as you know, when it comes to football, we forget about our tiredness and we just started to discuss. Listen, man, it was nice talking to you again, one on one. I'm glad we sorted out our sound issues. What I would like to know is, are you working tonight?
I'm working this evening, but I can guarantee you I will always be tuned into the game, no matter if I'm at work or not at work. So I will know what is going on. So yeah,
Okay, cool. Cool.
hopefully the game starts early, then I can still watch it. But yeah, I would be very happy to watch the game in full.
Yeah, what is the predicted time for the game to start? Do you perhaps know? I didn't
Um,
check the
Look, they said the London time is gonna be at 3 p.m. So I don't know what's. I
3
can't think now
p.m.
what the difference at
3
three
p.m.
or I'm not too sure. I'm not 100% sure. So I will check it up again.
Yeah, because if it's 3 p.m., it's gonna be in the afternoon. We like only 1 hour in front of them apparently, or behind
Yeah.
them, but it's only 1 hour difference. So I thought it was going to be a night game, but in actual fact, if we can hook up, I would like to do a watch along for that time, even if
Yes.
it's only for the first half. If you're available, that would be awesome. But we'll chat
Yes.
again later after we finalize. And go sleep well, man. Thank you very much, Roderick,
Okay.
for your
Thank you
time.
so much, Derek. Thank you everybody who's also tuned in. I'm always happy when I see people on the platforms responding to our stuff. So yeah, it's great always to give feedback regarding football and sharing knowledge about the game. So yeah, guys, be tuned into our channel. Always subscribe and share, and always be tuned in for our next show that's coming. So yeah, all of the best for the two teams this evening. Hopefully Arsenal can win. I'm sure that Chelsea fans is going to disagree, but yeah, it's going to be a very enticing game this evening. So yeah, thank you so much, Derek. May you all have a good day, and I'll see you later.
Thank you so much, Roderick. This is Roderick and Derek signing out for #SoccerKalitzStyle. Please stay tuned for our watch along tonight.
Yeah, bro.